191. In my heart there rings a melody. Turn to 2 Kings 5. Thank you, Pastor, for the privilege to preach. I want to ask a question here. Has anybody ever been to a celebration, like a party or something like that? Probably everybody. And sometimes there can be something that happens during the celebration that can just mess up everything. And it really sometimes can get ugly. And turn to 2 Kings 5. The title of my message is The Celebration? Question mark? Just made you like that. Oh, there you go. But yes, that's a great title. We're going to be starting in 2 Kings 5.
I say so myself.
We're going to be starting in 2 Kings 5, 9, and we're going to read down to 14. We know most of this, the part of this story. So we're going to start in verse number 9 and go down to 14. So Naaman came with his horses and with his chariot and stood at the door of the house of Elisha. And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, Go, and wash in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean. But Naaman was wroth, and went away, and said, Behold, I thought he will surely come out to me, and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God, and strike his hand over the place, and recover the leper. Are not Abana and Pharpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? May I not wash in them, and be clean? So he turned and went away in a rage. And his servants came near and spake unto him, and said, My father, if the prophet had bid thee do some great thing, wouldst thou not have done it? How much rather then, when he said to thee, Wash and be clean? Then went he down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of God, and his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. So we know that part of the story. We know the Syrians went out to Israel, brought away some captives, in the captives was a little maid. I don't believe they gave the name, but it was a little maid. And after she was captured, her job was to wait on Naaman's wife. And in that, she found out Naaman was a leper, and told, I believe, Naaman's wife that there's a prophet in Israel who could help with that. So then word gets to the king and Naaman. The king sends a letter to Israel, and then Naaman goes out to Israel to meet the prophet. And then he does what Elisha's servant told him to do. And we see at the end of verse 14, and he was clean. Now 15 is after he had been clean. He returns to Elisha. We read starting with 15. And he returned to the man of God, he and all his company, and came and stood before him and said, Behold now, I know that there is no God in all the earth, but in Israel. Now therefore, I pray thee, take a blessing of thy servant. That's got to be humbling. Thy servant. He's telling Elisha that he is now his servant. And 16, but he said, As the Lord liveth, behold whom I stand, I will receive none. And he urged him to take him, but he refused. And Naaman said, Shall there not then, I pray thee, be given to thy servant two mules burden of earth? For thy servant will henceforth offer neither burnt offering nor sacrifice unto other gods, but unto the Lord. Now Naaman is getting it here after he was healed. He's doing what the Lord wants him to do, and he's not gonna sacrifice the way he's been doing it before. And you see that in 17. Then drop down to 19. And he said unto him, Go in peace. So he departed from him a little way. But I don't know if this is the way to say this, so pardon me, but I think it's Gehazi. I don't know. But
Perfect.
yes, thank you. Somebody agrees with me. Alright. But Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said, Behold, my master hath spared Naaman this Syrian, in not receiving at his hands that which he brought. But as the Lord liveth, I will run after him, and take somewhat of him. So Gehazi followed after Naaman, and when Naaman saw him running after him, he lighted down from the chariot to meet him, and said, Is all well? So you see Naaman departs, because Elisha told him to. I believe he says, Go in peace. Yep. He says, Go in peace. Naaman's going. And then Gehazi is like, What are you doing, Elisha? Like he was just about to give you stuff, and then Gehazi, I believe, says to himself, from what I found in verse 20, it looks like he just says it to himself. It doesn't say unto, like past references. So I think he said it to himself, just thinking in his brain. And then, so he runs to meet Naaman, and Naaman's like, It's all well. And we see in verse number 22, and he said, All is well. My master hath sent me, saying, Behold, even now there become to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments. And Naaman said, Be content, take 2 talents. And he urged him, and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags, with 2 changes of garments, and laid them upon 2 of his servants, and they bare them before him. Now, we know that that's a lie, according to the scriptures. It says, and Gehazi could have just went there and asked for what he was getting. But he lied and said that there had come 2 prophets, 2 sons of the prophets from Mount Ephraim, I believe, and told him to give him. He didn't even ask. He just said, Give, I pray. And in verse 24. And when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand and bestowed them in the house. And he let the men go and departed. The men he's talking about are the two servants that Naaman had carried the garments. In 25, but he went in and stood before his master, and Elisha said unto him, Whence comest thou, Gehazi? And he said, Thy servant went no whither. And he said unto him, Went not mine heart with thee? When the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee, is it at again? Let me go back to 20. Sorry. And he said unto him, Went not mine heart with thee? When the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee, is it a time to receive money, and to receive garments, and olive yards, and vineyards, and sheep, and oxen, and menservants, and maidservants? Now, Elisha was, it looks like, in his house, and after Gehazi went to Naaman and told him the lie and came back and sent away the servants, he went into the house, and Elisha asked him, where'd you go? And he was like, I didn't go anywhere. And then, in 26, Elisha answered with that. And then in 27, he says, The leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee, and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence a leper, as white as snow. That all happened I would say, within a day. First, Naaman came, he washed, he came back, he asked Elisha to take what he had brought, and Elisha refused, and then Gehazi was like, no, I'm getting that. But lied about it, came back, and then lied again to Elisha, saying he went nowhere, and then Elisha basically said, you're going to have the same leprosy. And it says, the leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee, and unto thy seed. He messed up him and his seed. We see that a lot throughout the Bible. Achan, when he stole the bacon, as we like to say, him and his family were punished for it. And here, it says, unto thee and unto thy seed forever. And we have a couple events coming up. My family, the church, I know we're having anniversary soon. And we can easily mess up the celebration, if you will. The celebration of Naaman. Naaman now didn't have any leprosy, which I think he would have had it by then for a while, and then it's instantly gone after washing in, I can't remember what it was, 7 times. And we can easily mess up those celebrations like that. And I know we have anniversary coming up. We have convention things that we're doing. And I really just want to encourage us to keep the celebration in mind. What are we celebrating for? The stones that my dad was preaching about earlier, those could have easily been messed up if the guys standing there were like, no, we're done with this, and just started walking ahead and doing their own thing. And we can easily mess up the plan by doing like that. So going to step number 2 before doing number 1. And the celebration is there for a reason. And Elisha didn't take that the gift on purpose. He wasn't just saying no just to say no. He did it on purpose. I mean, wouldn't you like the gift that he had there? Yeah. If you read back, I don't know what verse it is, but back in the chapter it says what he had with him, and that was some good stuff. And he obviously had it behind him probably when saying this, and Elisha could see it all and refused it. And then his servant then lied about it and got some of it. And then at the end of 27, it says, the leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee, and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence, a leper as white as snow. These are probably the last time they saw each other. The last time we saw each other. And the last things it looks like that Gehazi had said was a lie. The last thing that we have reported here was a lie. And I just want to encourage you to keep it the way it is. Elisha said, no, you refused it. There you go. Listen to your elders and definitely don't lie.
That's good. I want to just throw something else out there.